Alright, hello everybody, it's Emperor, and before you click away, please either watch the whole video or don't watch it at all. If you can't watch it right now, just put it in your watch later, or just please make yourself a note to watch this later, because if you're not going to watch any other video on my channel, I think you should watch this one, because this is going to be the most important commentary that I've ever done to date. So what I'm going to talk about today is what the Call of Duty community can do as a group so that we can fix Call of Duty. Alright, so here goes. There is a problem, and the problem that we need to fix is that there is horrible, absolutely horrible support of the whole COD series by Infinity Ward and Activision. I commend Treyarch for their excellent work on Black Ops. There were patches, I don't know how often, but they were quite often, and they were really involved in the community, and I commend them for that, but even World at War has a lot of problems with it. But, so, I mean, it would be good if they could help, but this is mostly aimed at Infinity Ward, and I guess their father company, Activision, which owns them. So, the problem is that Call of Duty 4 is still hacked. World at War is still hacked to the point of being almost unplayable. You cannot get... It is very difficult to find yourself a normal game of World at War that you can actually enjoy. Then, there is still Modern Warfare 2, which still has some glaring flaws, like one-man army noob tubing and commando, and extremely overpowered air support and nuke boosting. There's still a lot of problems with that. Not to mention that right after it was released, the support from the developers was laughable. There was none. It took months to patch glitches. Javelin glitch, I don't know how long that was out for, maybe like a month or two. Then there was the 1887s, and then there was the second care package glitch, which that made games totally unplayable. And it just, like, even considering that Infinity Ward had broken apart during Modern Warfare 2, that was the worst support I have ever seen for any game ever. And then for Black Ops, I can't really say much, because I didn't really play Black Ops that much. I personally didn't like it, but I can understand. It was a good game. I can see that it was a very good game, supported very well by a good company. It just didn't appeal to me, and I'll just leave it at that. I can't really say too much about it, but I did, on Twitter, I could always see David Vonderhaar always talking to the community. That was heartening to see him having that level of community involvement. So that is laudable. I applaud him. And now we get to Modern Warfare 3. There are still a lot of problems with that. There is still the boosting situation. The FMG9s are still a problem. The Type 95 is still a problem. The Striker is still somewhat ridiculously good. There are still some big problems with that, which I hope get fixed. It's still very, very soon into the game. It's only been like, what, 3-4 months since the game was released, so they still have a lot of time to fix that. And yeah, so I hope that they can do that, but if not, then that's just going to add to the stack of problems. Not to mention that since Call of Duty 4, Infinity Ward has repeatedly ignored the Major League Gaming's request to integrate local area network settings into their games. Which allow the games to be played at a competitive level at Major League Gaming events. And the reason for which I'm making this commentary is because I saw a video from a pro player who was talking about that, and it just incensed me, and I really want to see this happen, to see this get fixed. So, okay, so that is the problem, and then here is the why you should be worried part. It's going to get worse. Like, if you're watching this and you like the recent titles, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, that's good. I have no problem with that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so if you like those games, I'm not going to say you shouldn't like those games, you're a noob or anything. I'm just saying that's good that you like them. It's good that I myself don't really like Black Ops, like I said. If you like Black Ops, great for you. But here is what I see as the problem. I am an almost 4-year veteran of the series. I have been around since the beginning of World at War in 2008. I've played World at War, I've played Modern Warfare 2, I've played some of Black Ops, I've played Modern Warfare 3. I've gone back to COD 4 since then, and I've played some of that, and what I and many other players who have been around for a long time, a lot of the Call of Duty commentators, the big ones on YouTube, have been around since like Call of Duty 4, World at War. Some of them came on Modern Warfare 2, some of them are even more recent than that, but I'm going to go so far as to say that a majority of them are from the Call of Duty 4 World at War era. And what I and they have noticed is that there is a downward trend in the support given to games by Infinity Ward. Again, Treyarch is doing a pretty good job of this. However, World at War is still an issue. So this is the problem for you if you like the more recent titles. So even if you like these titles, you should be aware that the future games may not cater to you. They may not be as good as the ones that are currently out, and they will probably not get the fixes you want within the time frame you want, and that's if they get them at all. Again, I'm not going to point at Treyarch. This commentary is not directed towards Treyarch. If they want to step their game up and fix World at War, I would be more than happy to hear that, because I love that game, but Infinity Ward is doing a very poor job of it. They are not responding to feedback. They are not, they just aren't doing a very good job of it. And so, however, there is a reason for this. Then of course it has to do with money. So I'm going to make a guess. I don't know. I haven't been to Infinity Ward. I haven't seen the internal workings of that company. But I'm going to guess that because they know they will still make the same amount of money by expending minimal effort to, say, increase the production value of their games. And somebody said this much better than I. As long as people will accept crap, it will be financially profitable to dispense it. And so that, I think, is the approach that Infinity Ward is taking to their games. Here are some numbers just to back this up. Call of Duty 4 sold 13 million copies within the first 19 months. World at War sold 11 million copies within 7 months. So the numbers are going up. Modern Warfare 2 sold 10 million copies in the US alone within 5 months. That was a huge jump upwards. Black Ops sold 13.7 million copies in the US alone within 5 months. Same as Modern Warfare 2. Increasing numbers. And Modern Warfare 3 sold 9 million copies in the US alone within 1 month of its release. So, despite what the community on YouTube sees as increasingly quote-unquote bad games, they are making more and more money with each new release. And so the question for them that they must be asking themselves is, why would we stop doing what has historically earned us more money? So they have no incentive to listen to us. They have no incentive to go out and fix their game or whatever. And so, from all the above, I think I have found a solution. We have to make a noticeable difference to them, like in their revenue. We have to hit them where it hurts in the money that they're making. So I did a bit of background research, and the company Activision Blizzard, which is aka Activision, that's just the full name of it because they merged with Blizzard. So this company, the one that owns World at War, the one that owns Treyarch, the one that owns Infinity Ward, and the one which finances those games for them, says that it has the leading market positions across all categories of the video game industry. This is just from a quick cursory check done on Wikipedia about a bit of stuff about Activision Blizzard. So, relating to that, the reason for which I play Call of Duty, because a lot of other people play Call of Duty, is because everybody else is doing it. This, in economics, is known as the network effect. The game becomes... I have a stronger desire to play the game because all my friends are playing it as well. That is why I moved over to Call of Duty from Halo at the time of World at War, because all my friends had stopped playing World at War and they were playing Call of Duty. I mean, damn it, I just messed up. The reason I switched over is because all my friends were playing Call of Duty instead of Halo, so I moved over to Call of Duty from Halo. And so, and then another point off of the first point is the reason for which non-Activision Blizzard games do not have the market success of Call of Duty is because they don't have the huge player base. They don't have the same power. Halo is a big game. StarCraft is a huge game, but they don't garner the same following that Call of Duty does, because they simply, because of the network effect, people go to Call of Duty because all their friends are doing it. And so it's kind of that's what's known as a positive feedback loop. Just the fact that it has more players attracts more and more players, so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so here's the final point on that. Activision is not going to risk losing its leading market position across all categories because its developers are ignoring community requests. So, here's the plan. We have a massive YouTube community. My guess, the YouTube Call of Duty community is huge. My best guess is that there are something like 700,000 unique members on the Call of Duty community. And the reason for this is, even though a lot of channels have something near 1 million subscribers, there are a lot of people who are subscribed to several channels. I myself am subscribed to something like 330 channels. So there are probably a lot of people like me like that, so I'm guessing 700,000. Not to mention that a lot of users are bot accounts. There are a ton of bots. Like I go through my subscriber list, I'm gonna guess that like 70% of my subscribers are bots. Not bots that I bought, but that's punny, but just those bots that go around subscribing to channels and saying, hey, come check out my channel, those ones. So here's what I think would work. If the Call of Duty commentators and the Call of Duty community viewers made a collaborative effort to make something which I'm going to call a pledge of no confidence. This is based on the idea of a pledge, what's it? I don't know. I can't think of the term right now, but basically what it is we are going to pledge not to purchase the next Infinity Ward title. I'll start right now. I pledge not to purchase Modern Warfare 4 or the next, or I don't know, maybe they're going to, whatever the next Infinity Ward title is in the COD series, I'm not going to purchase it. And so the reason I think this is going to work is because there are a ton of players, and if you have 700,000 people, if this has to be a community-wide thing, we cannot just have a few people doing it. 700,000 players is a significant chunk of the first day sales. Like I remember for Modern Warfare 2 that was something like 4.7 million sales on the first day. If we could drop that number by 700,000 people, then Activision is going to feel it. And so they are going to tell Infinity Ward, step up your game, fix your shit, fix it. But I'm not going to say that Infinity Ward has a responsibility to do this. I mean, if they want to continue to ignore us, that's okay. I mean, they're a company, they can make whatever game they like. The reason that they make games that are similar to all the other ones, the reason the Call of Duty series is so similar is because they want to make more money. And of course, I'm not going to say that they have to do it. I'm just saying that they should support the games that are already out, and that if they want to keep the support of the hardcore community, I don't mean hardcore as in the game type, I mean the YouTube community, the people who are really serious about the game. I'm saying that if they want to keep the support of those people, they are going to have to get their game up. They're going to have to step up to the bat and actually hit a home run and not like strike out like they've done on the past games. And so what I think would work is that if our community united in refusing to buy a COD title until the changes were made, their sales would drop by a significant amount. And so here are the reasons why. I think it's likely that we, the Call of Duty community on YouTube, make up the majority of pre-orders of COD titles. We are the ones who are crazy enough to go and order that game and stand in line and like with negative 30 degrees in some places to get that game right when it comes out. And then there's going to be a lot of us who also purchase a lot of different Call of Duty titles. Like I own Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty World at War, and I own Modern Warfare 2, I own Black Ops, I own Modern Warfare 3. Not to mention that some of us are going to have several instances of the same COD title. Since my parents are divorced and I have to go live at two houses, I have several copies of Modern Warfare 2 and of Black Ops. I don't have several copies of Modern Warfare 3, but that's just because I haven't gotten around to getting more. And so there are a lot of people who own several copies of the game because, I don't know, some people like to have friends over and they like to play at the same time, so that is also going to factor into the amount of games that our community purchases. And if we could get the community to unite in not purchasing those games, they would lose, I'm going to bet that they would lose something like 1 million total games sold, which is a huge number. If you think back to the numbers I had from earlier, like 9 million games sold on Modern Warfare 3 within the first month, if that drops to 8 million, there's going to be a problem. And I can tell you that the stockholders on the board of directors of Infinity Ward, of Activision, they wouldn't take Robert Bowling, Robert Kotick, who's the CEO of Activision, Jason West, the president of Infinity Ward, Vince Zampella, the CEO of Infinity Ward, seriously. They would not take them seriously if those guys walked into a board meeting and said, all right, sorry, stockholders, the reason that our quarterly earnings are dropped or our stock prices are dropped is because we are too lazy to make changes, or we are not creating the game that the community wants to see. The stockholders, they are not interested in hearing about the game mechanics. They are interested in hearing how much more money they're making this month than the month before. And so they would say, dude, are you kidding me? Go make those changes then. Regain the support of that community, because we want our money's worth. And that I think is the advantage that we hold as a community in having so many people, and there are so many commentators who have tens of thousands of people watching their videos. And I think if all those people could convince their viewers not to purchase the next Infinity Ward title, it would hurt enough so that the stockholders tell the company to make the changes necessary. So, now I'm going to have the value proposition, which is a proposal that I want to make to Infinity Ward, to Activision, and to the community of why this idea is a good idea. So, the community, obviously, this is a good idea for all the reasons that I listed, like bad support, games that we don't really like that much, etc. Not to mention YouTube commentators who, several of them, this is their job. They would have a more enjoyable time doing their job, because I know that there is a lot of frustration among the big YouTube channels because they feel forced to have to go record good games and play the game for hours on end in order to get good gameplays to upload and commentate over so they can earn that YouTube money. Not hating on them. I think it's great that people can make money off what they love doing. That's great. I'm just making a little joke here. So, that is the value to the YouTube community, that they will have more fun on the game. Then, there is an intangible value for the developers in making the changes that we're asking for. Robert Bowling gets a ton of hate. Infinity Ward gets a ton of hate. I've seen it on Twitter. There are so many people who are just infuriated with Infinity Ward and the support that they're doing and posting a ton of rageful posts to him. And I think that if Bowling and Infinity Ward would make the changes that we're asking for, they would feel a lot better, because I cannot imagine having to be the community manager for Modern Warfare 3 and having to wake up every morning and going over to my Twitter account and seeing it just overloaded with hateful messages. That's a depressing thing. That would be depressing for me, and I think that if they were to do that, there would be far less negative feedback, and they would feel a lot happier with themselves. So that is not that you can't quantify that in terms of money, but I think it's something that's valuable to them, and if they're hearing this, then you should probably consider doing this, guys. Then, for Activision, there is a real, actual, like, in dollars or euros value in making the changes that we're asking for. If you could make the changes, you would solidify the YouTube community as players who would purchase your game. Because I love Call of Duty. I think it's a great game. I would be so happy, and I would play this game far more enthusiastically if they could make these changes, because these are great games. I think Modern Warfare 2 came so close to being a perfect game, and if they could fix that, I would happily pay money. I would pay $100 for the perfect game. I'd pay $400 for the perfect game. It's so good. So, it would be great if they could do this. They would solidify a super hardcore group of gamers who would be on their side and wouldn't, most importantly, they wouldn't give up COD in favor of other games like Halo, like Battlefield. I know that there's an Infinity Ward game, it's not Infinity Ward, but the people who broke off of Infinity Ward during Modern Warfare 2 I think they're making a game that's coming out in some like 2014 or 2015. Fewer people would jump over to that game if Call of Duty were actually met their demands as a great game that they want to play. And so, that would help secure what Activision calls its leading market position in the video game industry. And that is real value for Activision, because it will help it stay top dog in the video game industry, and it will keep returns high for that company. So, now that that's over, here is what you, the viewer, you, the Call of Duty commentator, you, the casual gamer, what you have to do. It isn't enough for us to complain about all the problems of Modern Warfare 3, of Modern Warfare 2, of Black Ops, or whatever. We have to go and actively hold the people responsible accountable. Infinity Ward and Activision are not doing the best job of this, and we have to hold them to account for what they're not doing. So, what you need to do is share this idea, share this video with anyone who will listen. If you're a big commentator, please try to convince your subscribers to join you if you're going to make a pledge of no confidence in the next Infinity Ward title and not buy it. Please, it is important. This will not work without the support of all the YouTube commentators, because I have like 400 subscribers. I don't have enough power to do this. I can't. And if you're just some average Joe watching, that's okay. Just go and tell your friends if they play Call of Duty, tell them, don't buy the next Infinity Ward title. Let them know that we don't have faith in their ability to produce great games anymore, and that they can only renew that faith by making a great game or by fixing the games that they currently have. And here is one of the most important things of all. We can't just do this once. We can't just have a wait, because I know that the way that YouTube works is a video will go around in a big wave and then it'll die off. We can't have that happen. This has to be every Call of Duty commentator, every single video has to say, and remember not to buy the next Infinity Ward title to send the message. Remember not to buy every single video every time. I'm going to do that from now on. I'm going to remind everybody not to do this from now on. Only then will it become a real community movement. And another thing is there are a lot of reasons for which subscribers might miss videos that you upload. For instance, sub boxes are still an issue. Great job, YouTube, on that. I'm being fully sarcastic. I'm very disappointed in their support for this. Not to mention that not every subscriber will check their YouTube feed daily. Some people miss my videos. That's okay. I mean, that's just normal. I miss tons of people's videos who I like. I've missed a ton of videos by channels who I really enjoy, and it's just because I don't check my feed daily. So a lot of other people do that too, don't check it daily, so it's important that you repeat this over and over and over again. So, and again, in the same vein as repeating it over and over again, to have an idea really sink into your head, you have to hear it several times. You can't just hear it the first time. So that's another reason to do this. And like I said before, we need the help of larger channels. Only they have the ability to make this a community-wide issue. Only they can gather the support of many hundreds of thousands of people to make this actually happen. Alright, and then the last point is that we have to remain civil. We have to keep a normal tone of voice. We have to be like civilized human beings while we're talking to Infinity Ward and Activision, or they're not going to take us seriously. If we have angry and rageful comments that are going towards Infinity Ward, towards Activision, that's going to detract from this. That is not going to help this at all, because making those comments are going to make us seem like a bunch of ranting, furious, stupid teenagers. And I know that if I were a company, I would have no patience for that. Companies are professional and they deal with professional sounding individuals, so we have to sound professional when we do this. Whew, okay. So that's everything. I will keep you updated on what I'm doing about this. So if you just could leave what you think this video deserves as a rating, and please leave a comment telling me what you think about this. If you're a big commentator, I'll just ask me, and I'll put this audio for download somewhere else. You can put your own gameplay over it. So please share this with everyone you can. I'm going to be sharing this as much as possible with every single big commentator that I can over Twitter. And I need your help. We need your help. If we want to make Call of Duty great again, we need to work as a community. So good luck and Godspeed.